Good morning. Hi from Whitefish, Montana. This is Denise Dryden, and we're going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about back to school. So, if you haven't had an opportunity to sort of grab your cup, get comfortable, we're usually at about 10 to 12 minutes, and we're going to explore back to school. To me, I'm an empty nester. I think I haven't had to deal with back to school for about 7 or 8 years now, and yet there's still this like September means it's time to get the house in order, it's time to get food stocked up, it's time to get back onto some sort of structure, a relief from the long hours of the summer. It's incredible how much this generational sort of patterning of back to school is in me. And to this day, it's, if you want school supplies or a computer, you buy it in September. If you want this, you do that. And all of these cause and effects for September and back to school. So I thought I would talk a little bit about school today and parenting and sort of what the real issues are, and just explore it. So on the side of my screen, that you can sort of log in and say, hey, I have a question for you. You can ask me a question, and I can read it right there on the side. And I also have some material here that I've been talking about all week, because usually with this kind of stuff, I pay attention. I've got something in my eye, sorry. I pay attention to what the world is telling me. It's kind of like, what are we going to talk about this week? And then it just sort of starts to present itself and hone in. And what I wanted to start with on back to school is, as a parent, as a mom or a dad, what is your emotion that's going on right now? Is it like relief? Oh my goodness, I've spent all summer juggling kids and vacation, and we're tired and we're sunburned and we're off schedule, and it's just like, oh, it's going to be so nice to get back into structure. Are you sad? I experienced such sadness as a mother when my kids went back to school because my playmates were gone. I took the summers off, and I loved. We camped, we kayaked, we barbecued at night. We did everything that was fun. And there's a lot of sadness in me. I was like, I have to hand them back over to an institution, to somebody who's going to take care of them from 9 to 3, or if you have kids in sports, it's 9 to 6, for hours, and I miss them. So there's a lot of sadness. I also noticed that some parents are feeling really anxious and nervous because their kiddo doesn't really do well in school, has had problems the year before. You're working with IEPs, we're working with psychologists, we're working with school counselors on what's going on. My son or my daughter might be have some social anxiety. They might have some learning disabilities or challenges. And is this teacher, is this school, is this classroom going to work? And it sort of brings up all of our mama bear, papa bear behavior, like, I need to get out there and protect them and sort of clear the way for them. And that isn't always, cool. There's also that other little anxiety piece of, what if school is all about power struggles? When to go to bed, when to do homework, when to get up, did you pack your lunch? And all of those, like, I like the structure. I like my kids being independent and in a place where they're happy. However, my end of the job is a lot of power struggles. So I thought we would just sort of lay it out there and allow it to be whatever it is with us. And I'm looking at my notes because I wrote some other things, that there's also these hopes and fears. Like, what if? What if my kid, and we play that game, what if my kid doesn't make friends? What if my kid can't do math this year? What if those same girls that were bullying last year are going to be there? What if this is a brand new school and we've never been there before and we don't know how it's going to be? So there's a lot of hopes and fears. So what I want to invite you to do today is to really look at what's going on with you. What's going on with you as the parent, and what kind of energy do you hold in your body, in your being, when it comes to the concept of school? Because what I know is that if we hover, if we doubt, if we're worried, if we're afraid, if we clear the path for our kids and we jump in and problem solve, what we do is we take our issues and we put them on our kids, and we let them know at all times that we don't think that they're capable. We don't think that they know how. We don't think that they're smart enough. We don't think that they have any depth to or resilience to what comes across and sort of faces them. And I wonder if we realize as parents when we transfer our worry or we try to jump in and help, if we understand how detrimental that really is to our kiddos. The other one is if we're busy and we're distracted and we're like in our own world and we're talking on the phone to our friends or our family and we're not present. What we do is we teach our kids how to go elsewhere to find resources. We teach them to go to friends' houses. We teach them to get on the phone. We teach them to get on the computer and do something that interacts with them, something where they feel completely in charge of their own presence. So, we have the hovering parent and we have the disconnected, sort of not all the way there. And, gosh, I never understood the depths of challenges that went with single parenthood until I became a single parent myself. And working full-time, trying to get off work early enough to make a pickup with a kid from soccer, to get home, to have dinner, to deal with homework, to deal with phone calls, to deal with all that stuff. How do we understand that impacts us as a parent and bring it into presence? And presence is going to be a really important key that we want to talk about. So when we're present and when we're resourceful and when we're supportive and totally empowering with our kids, what we teach them is that here I am. You got this. I trust you completely. And if you have a problem, come ask me. And this is really, really important, from pre-K all the way through college, which is, here I am. I see you. I'm observing what you're doing. I'm wondering how you're doing that, how well you're doing. And I'm going to wait till you ask, or I'm just going to ask you once in a while, how you doing? And then I'm going to allow you to set the pace as the kiddo and tell me what you need. Because what we want to start doing is we want to start building independent skills. And we want to start early. So I have an exercise that I don't know how it's going to work on the video. I've done it on the phone without any visual, so let's see what happens. When we have a kiddo who has a problem, whether it's girls are being mean to me at school, I forgot my lunch, the coach tells me I have to work harder if I want to start a position. We can name hundreds of them. You come up with your own problem and bring it up and sort of hold it in front of you. And so what happens, and I learned this exercise from Jeannie Kroll, who started North Star. She and her husband Dennis Kroll started North Star back in the late 80s, and I moved in just a couple doors down in 1995 and fell in love with young adult transition work, and that's when I first started coaching. So Jeannie taught me this one, and it's been invaluable. I use it with all of my hovering, sort of doubtful parents. What happens is that our kiddo has a problem. This is our problem, right? This little pillow is our problem. And they go, I can't go to school. I don't want to. Woo, woo, woo. This is happening. And I'm not being sarcastic with it. What I'm saying is just there's emotion. It's up. There's something that's going on with them. They have a problem. And they go, Mom, the teacher doesn't like me and I can't get my homework done. And she gave me an F and I didn't even deserve it. And da, 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 da. And they throw the pillow at you and you go, oh, I got it. I got it. I'll take care of it. I'll call the teacher and I'll see if he can give you some extra time. I'll talk to the coach. I'll, fill in the blank. What happens is we take the problem and we just want to be useful and we want to be helpful and we want to plow the pressure out of the way of our child, and that doesn't always work. So we hold it and we do it, and the kid stands there and looks over and goes, Mom's got it handled. And what we do at a really early age is we teach our children that they can pass off their problems to us and we're going to handle them. I don't think that's really where we want to be. So what this exercise does is you have a kiddo who says, the coach doesn't like me, doesn't want to start me, and you also know that maybe they're not coming with all their equipment. Maybe they haven't been doing any extra work on the side. Maybe they hate to run. You know your kid. You know there's something going on. And the kid says, "The coach doesn't like me. I don't know if I want to play soccer this year." Or I don't know what to do. And so they throw the pillow at you and you let it hit your body and fall on the floor. And you don't touch it. Hands free. And you're present. And your heart is open and you're looking at them and you go, God, sounds like a really difficult thing. What are you going to do about that? And what we do is we turn it around and we ask them to be resourceful. We ask them to be the problem solvers. We ask them to go after their own passions and figure out what they want. And then we say, what can I do to be a support system for you? How can I be of service? And let me know how it works out. I would love to hear how your conversation goes with the coach tonight at dinner. Good luck. You got this. Go talk to him. And so what we do is we teach our children how to be their own advocates. And we stop carrying all of their problems for them. And this is really hard. It's really hard the first couple times you do it, because the first time you let that problem come and you just sidestep it, you let it bounce off of you and fall on the floor. We're using imagery here. That kiddo's going to go, oh, you don't even care about me. You don't even care what happens to me. And it's like, that's not necessarily true. I care a lot. I'm just not willing to jump in and solve your problems for you because I'm not doing you any services by doing that. So, going back to school is about realizing what we can do as parents to teach our children how to be empowered, teach them how to problem solve, teach them how to understand who they are. I'm currently working with a family who have a 17-and-a-half-year-old boy in program who has struggled since kindergarten with some learning challenges. And mom and dad have sort of plowed and helped all the time. And what I'm noticing is that this beautiful 17-and-a-half-year-old young man doesn't really understand who he is or how he learns. And until he can take ownership of that, then the parents, then he will never have any real long-term success. And he's going to have some struggles ahead of him until he learns how he learns, the ways that he can support his learning, the ways that he can advocate for himself, the way that he can ask for assistance when he needs it, the way that he can become his own advocate. And that's what we want when we send our kids off at 18 to go get a job, to go to college, to start, working on their independence. And we start backing those skills out. In previous videos, we've talked about sort of age groups and what's appropriate. So I want to keep this really on the parent, which is identify what emotions are going on with you in back to school. Separate your fears and your patterns and your generational pains associated with elementary school, middle school, high school. Deal with those. Really deal with those. Go find help. Go find out why you still have some anxiety around needing to help, needing to clear the way for your kids. Then be present, completely present with your kid, and be resourceful. Don't take on their problems. Ask them what they need and support them in solving those problems for themselves. And start young. And of course, it might look like at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, would you like me to come in and just sit there behind you and hold space for you while you talk to the teacher about what you need? And then if you need me to help you out, I can. But let's let you do that first. Hi, Andre, you just joined. This is awesome. I love this little thing I can say hi to everybody when they're checking in. So back to school. Know what your triggers are. Know what you can do to support yourself. Know what you're capable of doing. Know what you want to do as far as support for your kids. And then have some really good, clear boundaries that I'm not going to be your problem solver. I'm not going to be your helicopter. I'm not going to be your snowplow. I'm not going to be any of those parents who just really, really goes after advocating for their kids. And I'm going to teach you how to do that for yourself. So again, I'm Denise Dryden. I'm a coach. I work with late stage adolescents, young adults, parents of both of those. I work with parents all the time because when we have kiddos separate from ourselves and we're managing ourselves and our children at the same time, we need some different skills. So how do we take care of ourselves? How do we know ourselves? And how do we show up fully present as a parent? That's what I coach. Check out my website. It's DeniseStridenCoaching.com, and I'm here every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. putting out a live broadcast. Well, except for last weekend because I was in San Jose at my dad's 87th birthday, and it just felt too hard. Wi-Fi was unstable and everything. So from now on, Sundays, unless I let you know. So take care. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful September. Have a wonderful school year. And if you need any support or assistance, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.